everyone, and welcome to Whiskey Book, the channel where I relate good tasting whiskey to good reading books. This isn't a book review channel per se. I'm not gonna give you the ins and outs of every book I read. I'm not gonna go in depth on it. There's other channels that do that and they do it very well. So what this channel is about is I want to take the whiskeys that I can get and taste, and I'm going to relate the notes that I get in those whiskeys and kind of the feel I get from those whiskeys, whether it's bourbon, whether it's Irish, Canadian, or even a Scotch if I get a hold of some. And I'm going to relate those to a book. So for instance, tonight I've got 1792 small batch. Now, this is my first 1792 I've gotten, and so far it's pretty good. I've got some right here, and I'm going to give you some flavors I get off of it, but again, I'm not reviewing the whiskey per se. What I'm going to do is I'm going to tell you what I get out of the whiskey personally and how I relate that to a book that I've read and that I know. So, cheers to you, and thanks for watching. So, right off the nose, and I get vanillas and caramels, and this to me seems like a pretty quintessential bourbon. Yep, I'm getting some, maybe a little bit of nut, but mostly I'm getting vanilla, some caramel, which doesn't surprise me because that, like I said, that's quintessential. That's what you get out of the barrels to make the bourbons. Yeah. What I like to do is something I found right off the bat when I'm smelling whiskeys is if I move the glass around, I'll get something completely different from this side of the glass than I will from this side, from the top of the glass. Yeah, maybe a little bread in there too. Let me see what it tastes like. Yeah, actually, it's really viscous, and I've had a lot of other bourbons that as soon as you taste them, they dry up, it's gone, and you don't get anything out of it. And to me, the finish is on a bourbon or a whiskey is the most important thing. I like to taste it, and on the palate, what I get is a little bit of sweet, a little bit of barrel. I can taste the smoke or not smoke, but the char in the barrel just a little bit, but just really sweet, really. Got some good stuff going on in there. And then the finish is you get that a little bit of oak in the back end. Not the spice. You don't get there's not rye spice on this like there is in a wild turkey or something like that. And this is a fancy looking bottle, and it's actually really good. I mean, I prefer this to Buffalo Trace. I would rate this up there maybe with an Eagle Rare. So what am I comparing this nice 1792 bottle to? Gold top, gold lettering, looks really nice shape, nice form. Get a little spice on this one the second time around, and it means there's more to it. Every time I drink, there's a little something more to it, which is nice. So what am I comparing it to? I'm going to compare it to Robin Hood. Specifically this book illustrated by Greg Hildebrand. And maybe we can find some of the illustrations in here, but so Robin Hood, not a real in-depth story. We all know it. We all love it. Probably saw it in Disney. I mean, look at that art, though. Look at that art. That is freaking awesome art in here. So why am I comparing it to this book? Somebody might say, well, the bottle says 1792. You got to find something from the year 1792. No, that's not what this is about. What this is about the feel that the bourbon or whiskey gives me, with the packaging, that the flavors, the how much you pay, what it makes you feel like to a book that you read, and what it makes you feel like. Robin Hood. The book's not very expensive, but man, does that look good. Look at that. Look at that gold. That golden. Is that filigree? I don't know what that is. No, I think that's just imprinted on the texture on this book. It's probably hard to tell on the camera, but it's like cloth. It's really neat. And Robin Hood, you look at it, and it's an old story. It's cheaper. It's what's there to it, but you read it and you get enjoyment out of it. And it's actually a really in-depth story. The more and more you read it, it's not just a children's story. And I kind of get that out of the 1792. The bottle looks great. It's something I want to reach for. I'd reach for that bottle. I'd reach for this book. I mean, look at that. Oh, that's so neat. But it's not expensive, and it's been around a while. But dang, you open it up and the first is, okay, this is quintessential. This bourbon, it's vanillas, it's caramels, it's barrel, it's little char, a little bit of spice, and I drink it again. I get a little more of the spice. I get a little more of the flavor, a touch of nut, a touch of cherry. Really good stuff. Read this book again. You go in depth into the how Robin Hood dealt with the Prince John and what's the story behind that and the deeper parts of it. And that's what this channel is about. It's finding the deeper parts of the bourbon with the deeper parts of the books, and they won't all be, you can call this a children's book or what. I've got a bookshelf behind me and a ton of other books that I'm going to go over and compare to other whiskeys, and hopefully we'll make a connection there that some of you will like and understand with me, and I look forward to getting any feedback to compare some whiskeys with some books and go from there. And I thank you for joining me, and until next time, it's Whiskey Book.